hope you're having a nice day. I'm here in all my woolens today recording this for you guys because I'm feeling very cold. I think I've just been sat still for too long. Even though I've got the heating on, I'm just feeling a bit cold. Coco's here too. She's randomly decided to position herself there. Thank you, Coco. Lovely. So move along, Coco, move along. What we're hoping to do, what I'm hoping to do with you guys today is make a tie. And you'll have to forgive me that we're pre-recording this just because I have my big presentation this week. In fact, it's tomorrow and I'm recording this on Tuesday. So I didn't want to have the pressure of kind of having to do something at a certain time in case the work wasn't going as well. But anyway, I've been practicing and I've taken a break to film this for you guys. So it's very simple, the tie actually. It's a really lovely, easy thing to do. We've got two long pieces. We've got to join those. And then I don't actually have cut out for me a lining piece, but we basically then you need to have two pieces of lining. So one there should be two passing pieces, one that's a big piece and one that's a small piece. Maybe it's actually in the bag, I should check. But anyway, so that's to line the front and then the same for the back. Oh, this smaller end, and then I've got some damet, which is what we put inside just to give it a bit of structure and also just to make it a little bit more padded. So I'm going to first though, what I thought I'll do is I've got everything here, I can just join these two. So I'm basically going to place the long front tie with the back tie at these ends here, placing them right sides together. And what you should get is a little bit here and here poking out. I'm making this with cotton, I should say, as well, guys, which isn't a classic kind of fabric for ties, but I've made quite a few over the years in cotton and they really do come out nicely, especially with the damet. So it looks like that. So you just want it evenly, and that means when we press it open, it will be even. So it looks strange, but what you don't want to do is line up the edges. You want to have them like that. You'll see in a second when I sew it and press it open, you'll see how it will all just kind of come together. So the seam allowance is 1 centimetre. Essentially you'll be going from that little kind of indentation bit there to the following bit, the same on the other side. It's kind of where the little V is created from the overlap of the two fabrics. I'll show you what I mean. Like there. Sorry, nails are shocking at the moment. Haven't had a chance to go to nails. Haven't had a chance to get my hair done. This is all going to be happening next week. I've finally got some time off, so beautifying will be happening. Right, so that then can get pressed open. So, and you'll see then what we're aiming for is then for the edges of the tie, those long edges to fully align, okay, which they are. So then we can cut off these little bits like that and like that. Okay, so that's that bit joined now. Next thing is we need to do the lining on the ends. So I've got my big piece here, which is the front lining, which essentially should be the same size. It's just a short section of the front bit of the tie. I'm going to pop that up like that. Okay, and now I'm going to sew that. Now, we don't need to sew along these edges here and here. We're just going to sew there. I guess you could, but you basically fold it all in anyway when we fold the tie together, so you don't need to have it stitched there. So again, centimetre seam allowance, reverse at the beginning. And then when we get to the point in the tie, 1 centimetre before the edge, we're going to stop, put the needle in and pivot round. I'll tell you, it's not sounding the most healthy, my sewing machine. I don't know what's wrong with it. Normally it's a very silent machine. Okay. There we go. just trim that end off. So you just want to do that, cut the end off there. Okay, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to just do a contrasting one. I was thinking, I've got another random piece of tie here cut out here, so I'm just going to use that. I think one of the guys in the shop was cutting it out and they've not cut anything like this out before and they got a bit confused about which pieces to cut. So I've got two, or maybe they wanted me to have two options of colour, I don't know, but I'm just going to use that as the lining. It's on the back bit, but it won't really show. That's the bit that will sit underneath the front, the main bit of the tie. It's the skinnier bit of the tie. Okay, we're pivoting round and then down we go, next side. And then we're just going to cut the end off there on that one. Okay, so they can then just be turned like that, and the same on there. And I'm actually now going to put this, I'm done with this. Oh gosh, I forgot that the plug's up there. Whoops, it is. That can now just be put down because the rest is actually all hand sewing. Well, first though, we've got a lot of ironing to do. So let's get this to a place so you can see quite a lot of what I'm doing. So I've turned, we've turned that and turned that. So now let's use a pin just to tease out that point of the tie. And then, excuse me, but just getting a little bit of grip on my fingers. And then I'm just going to press this. So the seam is right on the edge, so you can't see the lining. Okay, and then the same on here. I need to tease that corner through. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is on one side of the tie, I'm going to fold over the seam allowance of 1 centimetre, just on one side. Again, I'm going to do it from that side because that will be the direction that I'll be moving in, being a lefty. So folding it over like that, and then along here. Steaming that all the way along. Okay, folding that over. So these used to be sold as a kit. We don't sell the kits anymore, but the pattern is a PDF pattern you can buy from us. And it makes a great gift, guys, it really does. That's why we decided to do this at this time of year. We thought, oh, perfect for Christmas presents. Right, I'm not going to join my domette because I don't want to have the added bulk there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my domette and I'm going to pop it in to the end here to try and get that domette all the way up. Took it right into that corner. Okay, and then I want it to sit centrally. So I'm now going to start to fold the tie around it, okay? So that's going to go over like that, and I find it easier just to pin that in place, even though these pins are then going to get moved when the next side comes over. Make sure that it really is sitting in the middle. Okay. Okay, and then this, the folded edge, comes over that. Now we can fiddle around with this bit in a minute because that's not quite right, but we'll fiddle with that We need to make sure that that's even, which it's not at the moment. I'm just going to leave that there for now. I can do that at the end. And then what I'm doing is taking the pin out where it was on the other layer and putting it back in again. Now you sometimes find with our Damet pattern that it's a little bit snug. So if you do, you can just trim it off. I think I'm fine though, this time it's fine. Really depends on the accuracy, I think, of your pressing of that hem over that edge to create the folded edge. But you can see it's coming into tie shape very, very quickly. Okay, get in there, get in there. Actually, I don't want to put that pin in there because I need to put the next bit in. Move it along, and then I need to put my Damet from this side in. So again, tucking him in. He goes right to the end. That's it. Oh, I put him in the wrong way around. When you get to here, these need to meet. Man, they're not like that. They need to kind of intersect. Flip it over. Damet is something we used to use in corset making when I worked at Bruce Oldfields. And what it does is it softens all the seam lines so you can layer silk over it, and it's gorgeous. Really gorgeous. It softens the whole thing. So if you put Duchess satin over it, really, really lovely. So again, I'm just going to pin first along this edge, and then once I've done that, I'll pin over the other edge. So they're now meeting beautifully, nicely, neatly overlapping. I think I've that's all right. And then I'm folding over the folded edge on top of that. Pinning through all the layers when I'm doing it as well. Like so. That's this last bit. So again, we need to do a bit of fiddling around with this to get this really nice. So I'm just going to tweak this until it's even. Sometimes what you find is it's not evenly kind of folded in, but the distance there needs to be the same length. So you could just use a tape measure if it's looking a bit off. I think that looks about right. Yeah, that's lovely and even now. And I just need to do the same at this side. So let's take that last pin out, and I'm just going to fiddle around with it. I'm going to make sure, I think I just hadn't folded that side in enough. Yeah, that looks better. Perfect. Yeah, a bit more of a shape there. Right, so next, I'm just looking for a needle. I'm not finding one. And I've still got one from the Sewalong stuff. I've still got my plate of Sewalong things over, not Sewalong, the big Christmas sew things that I haven't done anything with over there. So now I'm going to sew it together. Now I'm a bit of a speedy hand sewer, guys, but that makes it more interesting for you to watch. But looks like we might even get this sewn up in half an hour, which is quite speedy, even for me. But the cotton It just makes it so easy to deal with. Okay, so you want a single thread, just tie a knot in the end. And then we're just going to start here, try and show you what I'm doing. I'm going to start by just doing a few catch stitches. Oh, it's a big needle this. That's going to slow me down. So I'm just going to go over, I have to change this needle a few times just to get myself a really good base and just to make sure these ends here are really together. And then we can start our slip stitch. I'm going to take that pin out. Now my hands under here at the front are playing an important role because they're making sure that I'm not accidentally stitching all the way through to the front. So you can go through the domette, but you can't go through to the front. So what I'm doing, let me stand up so you can see, do a few with you like this. So I'm going in here, moving along, coming up, and when I come up I'm catching the folded edge there. And I'm hopping back, moving along, coming up, catching the folded edge. So I'm only moving along underneath, so hopping over, move along, come up, catch the folded edge. In, move along, folded edge. And that's all there is to it. So let's have a little chat whilst I'm doing this. I'm saying a chat, there's no one here to comment, but I'm so used to talking to a random screen now, it just feels quite normal to me. So we are not long now before Christmas, is it? So next week I have got the week off. I need a break. I will have finished all my work for my course. But Becca is going to be doing a sew along with you. She'll be doing a sew along tomorrow actually, I think on Wednesday, a live sew along which is for our Ella blouse, which is a great little wrap blouse that can go over any of your other kind of dresses or makes just to kind of keep you a bit warmer. So we've got that happening tomorrow. Then next week, the newest PDF release, which those of you who are in the PDF club will find out about next week. That is going to be, that's going to be next week. That's going to be the sew along for next week. And then I think I might be doing one the last week before Christmas, which is a Christmas stocking sew along. I thought that week we'll all just be doing very small bits and bobs of sewing. So we're going to do a Christmas stocking. And then we are going to be meeting tomorrow or the day after, I can't remember. We've got a meeting to plan all the sew alongs for next year. And I think I have hinted that they're probably going to be a little bit different. So not different in the type that they are, but we obviously through lockdown first time and this time we've sort of done them free on YouTube, but because they are now quite a big part of what we're doing, we've been thinking about how can we do them that you know, we obviously, not that we can make money from them, but we just need to be able to sustain being able to do them. So what we're thinking of doing is a combination. We'll probably do a monthly sew along that will be with the new PDF pattern, and that will be on YouTube as all the other ones have been. We'll also still do my makes video showing you that, and I might even go back to doing a bit of a fabric video just to show you some lovely new fabrics. Rosie has been wonderfully looking after the fabric mainly for this year, but I'm taking that back because she's got a lot on her plate. So I'll be going back to doing all the fabric buying. So I thought maybe I could also go back to telling you all about the fabrics, since I'll know them much more than I do now. And we're kind of still continuing to stock some staple fabrics, some what I call golden oldies, and then some things that we've used for sampling or for sew-alongs. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent, haven't I? But then what we're going to do is we want to do some regular live events on Stitch School. So we are going to move one sew-along a week will be on Stitch School, and also probably Q&A type things on Stitch School. So members of Stitch School will be able to just access those. And then we're planning as well on doing our big sews once a month, because that was such a lovely success. We really loved that. So we want to do a big sew once a month, which we'll do on Zoom so that we can all see each other. So that's also going to happen. So there'll be a whole range of virtual events that you guys can join in on next year. And we'll be telling you all about that really soon. We're changing Stitch School a little bit, and we'll be making sure you know about that before Christmas, just so you understand what's happening in terms of sorry, I should have said what I've just done there. I've knotted off and I did a little stitch and then I just knotted off, and now I'm just starting again. So yeah, so what's happening on Stitch School and the way, we'll send an email out so you know everything that's happening. But we will be continuing to do a new pattern every month on Stitch School. Sorry, not on Stitch School, but a new PDF pattern. We'll be continuing to make lots of new content every month for Stitch School. More big classes. We want to do more about fitting because we know that you love that. So yeah, lots of exciting things coming next year. Oh, speaking of like talking about what's coming next year, those of you that have been customers for a while might remember that I used to do a video around Christmas every year on like a kind of roundup of the year. As a joke, we used to call it the Queen's Speech. Obviously, I'm not the Queen, but that's what we called it within the company. And I'm going to do one. I thought I didn't do one last year, probably because I had quite a bad year personally. But this year, I feel like I'd like to start that again. So I'm going to start that again. Yeah, I'll make sure that's up by the end of this month. And in that video we'll be sort of summarising what this year's been about, what it's been like for us, and then talking about what's coming next year. I'm about halfway through now, guys. I really want to try and finish this so I can just show you it. And also I've now set myself a personal record that I'd like to beat, which is, can I sew a tie in half an hour? And just a reminder, guys, those of you that joined the Selfless Sewing sew-along on Saturday, we need to have your bags sent in by Monday next week, Monday the 14th, so that we can get those to the refuge. So I think on Monday I've got Jazzy actually, so on Monday I'm going to take Jazzy, we're going to go to the supermarket and we're going to get all the toiletries for the women's bags. We've already got all the great craft kits from Hobbycraft to fill in, so then I thought Jazzy can help me fill it, load up those bags on Tuesday. I've got to wash them Monday night, I think. I can't even remember. We're on Tuesday. There's a big thing, a schedule that I've got to do to make sure that they get ready. But I've got a slot that I need to drop them off on Wednesday, so I need to make sure they're ready for them. I've run out of thread again. So guys, so I'm just going to just do a knot. I tie a knot in the thread, and then I use a needle to push the knot down so it's close to the fabric. And then another thing, so this is a standard length tie and it's taken about 3 threads. Gives you an idea of like how close the stitches are. They're probably about 1 centimetre apart, definitely no more than that. I have to apologise that I'm not wearing anything handmade today. I actually am, I've got my ivy skirt on. I'll show you that. You can't really see it, can you here? Got my ivy skirt on there, but nothing on top. Okay, so I'm just tucking that loose bit of thread, the tail from where I knotted off. Tuck that in, and then away we go. We are almost done. did my first bit of Christmas shopping at the weekend. Very exciting. I was up in Cambridge, which is near the cottage, or it's the nearest big town to the cottage, and it was lovely up there, looking so festive, and there was carol singers. It was very nice indeedy. Very nice indeedy. So yeah, I think I've got like pretty much all of my Christmas presents now. Just need to, the last few things I just need to get online, and I really try to go to like little independent shops as well. I think it's important, especially this year, to try and shop small, as they say. But I have to say there are no handmade gifts this year. Next year will be a much, I hope, much more normal year in terms of I won't be doing an intense business course, and we will hopefully got over this pandemic, and yeah, and we'll be a bit more organised for Christmas. Okay guys, not long now, it's about another 10 centimetres and then we're done. But I would say if you're not filming this for other people to see, so you're trying to get it done quickly, enjoy this hand sewing stage because it's very therapeutic. And it's a really good way of practicing your slip stitch because it's a nice, easy project to be slip stitching. Now, if you want to press the tie, you can press it once you finish this, but I would use a pressing cloth because it'd be a shame to harden all these edges. Right, I'm just going to do what I did at the beginning and just stitch around that a few times. Little over stitches. And a knot. I'm just going to put my needle in, get that nice and close. There we have it, guys, a tie. I'll show you the back so you can see the stitching, or rather not see it. Really is quite invisible. Well, I guess I've got somebody a handmade tie as a gift, so I did manage one. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry that it wasn't live this time, but I will be back soon, a week after next, with a final live one for the year. See you then. Bye.